Now let's talk about dilations, otherwise known as expansions and compressions. This happens when you multiply by a number. So if it's on the outside, it's vertical. Inside, it's horizontal. Remember, inside's backwards. So if you're multiplying by a number of 5 on the inside, it's kind of like dividing by 5. Or you could look at it as multiplying by the reciprocal, which 5 would become 1/5. So another key concept to understand is a vertical expansion will resemble a horizontal compression, and a vertical compression will look like a horizontal expansion. So they kind of work together in that regard. So look up here. This is by multiplying by a number that's a vertical stretch, but it looks like a horizontal shrink. All right, down here, a vertical shrink looks like a horizontal stretch. So that will always work side by side. The only one that's a little different is the reciprocal function in that regard. So it says identify the parent function of f of x, of g of x here, and describe how the graph of g of x and f of x are related. Then graph on the same axis. Well, this is a resemble, if we took away the transformations, it would be 1 over x. This is a reciprocal function. So f of x would equal 1 over x. Now remember, these are the two branches. Here they are. And I want you to see this. G of x is out here. Now what has happened is when you multiply by 3, that 3 is on the outside. It's not inside with x, it's on the outside. So it's a vertical stretch, which will also look like a horizontal shrink normally. But the only one that I said that was different is the reciprocal function, but they actually go hand in hand. So that's why it looks like a horizontal stretch as well. But it's actually a vertical stretch is actually what it is. Now this is just hard to see on this graph. The other graphs are easier to see. All right, let's try this one. So this time we have the absolute value, well, rather a negative absolute value of 4x. So the function, parent function, f of x, is the absolute value of x. Now remember, that's that, it'll look like a V. This is a, right here, it's horizontal because it's inside. And since it's multiplying by 4, we do opposite, which means it's a horizontal shrink. Now, what is a horizontal shrink going to look like? A vertical stretch. This is on the outside, so this is a vertical reflection, or a reflection over the x-axis. I know it seems backwards, but to make it vertical going up and down, it's got to go over the x-axis. All right, let's look at the picture. I'll pull up the picture here. There's f of x, or v. And this one, it looks like a horizontal shrink, or you could say a vertical stretch. But it's hard to see here, vertical stretch, but it is a horizontal shrink, as we said. And it's been reflected over the x-axis. Now you try one.